Whether we're anxious, angry, depressed, or full of passion, our voice reveals our emotional state. I had a comment, "Hi Jimmy, can you give me some tips on varying the tone in the way you speak to make your presentations more interesting?" Yes. So when I'm working with clients, I mention 3 elements to improve your voice when communicating. These are, number 1, tone. Number 2 is pitch. And number 3 is dynamics. So the tone of your voice in public speaking is comparable to music. Without these variations, music like your voice can become monotonous and the intention behind the notes will not be heard. But let's just focus on tone. When a child or an adult first begins to play the violin, it sounds squeaky and lacks definition, body, and consistency of pitch. When they figured out how to make a better sound by determining the right amount of pressure to use, you can see I can play violin, I don't play violin. You're going to hear more character, emotion, and intention in their performance, and most importantly, a connection to the music and the listener. So how do we create this through our voice? Well, we do this, and don't worry, I'm going to give you some examples and some exercises just afterwards. Number 1, we change the balance of our phonation. Number 2, we manipulate the muscles in our larynx. And number 3, we use different registers. Most importantly, and to refer back to my musical analogy, is to use melody. For example, we can extend, arpeggiate, and syncopate our vocal range to create a sense of curiosity and interest in the other person. So if I was to demonstrate this, let me see. So for instance, if I was to ask you a question about your voice, how would you describe it? Do your colleagues and clients react in a positive and engaging way, or do they ask you to either speak up or soften your tone? So that's using our different vocal registers to create an engagement, to create curiosity, to create an empathic sounding tone. You need to find the right balance of phonation, which simply means the correct ratio of breath and tone. Feeling and experimenting with the different qualities of phonation will help you find the right balance. I want you to try this exercise. So start with a breathy sound. Open your throat and create subconsciously a space in the chest. I want you to think about going down into the chest. So I want you to think about it as if you imagine yourself climbing down through your vocal tract, through your throat, your esophagus, etc., down into the chest, and you're swimming down and you're exploring all the areas in your chest, and it's cavernous in there, it's echoey, and it's huge by speaking with a breathy onset. So start with the breath first. Hi, hello, and really think about that sound entering here. Hi, yes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now make the sound thinner by closing off your soft palate and raising the back of your tongue slightly to create a nasally sound, like a witch, like this. Make it very narrow in here. You see it? I always get carried away with that slightly. Now go back to the breathy sound and feel the difference. Really open here and then not so open and it's in here. Can you hear the difference? Now experiment with finding a balance between those 2 placements, the breathy sound and the witchy sound. And you might find the perfect balance for you, or you will find the perfect balance for you. Now, before I mention my final tip for manipulating the tone of your voice, I'd like to share with you my own experience, which is quite frankly hard to tell. So this is a difficult story for me to share, and actually I haven't told anybody about this before, so I'm sharing it with you, a complete stranger, or possibly not, hopefully someone that I can trust. Anyway, went to visit my in-laws for the first time before I got married, before I became a speaking coach, and we had let's say a heated debate. One of my family now that we're married, happily married, took me aside and said, "Look, Jimmy, you're coming across when you're speaking to us with a very aggressive tone, and it's really disturbing. And I'd like you to soften that tone if you could, because it's really not helping the situation." And it was something very serious that we had to talk about and we had to deal with. And I realized at that time that our voices and emotions are like 2 peas in a pod. Whether we're anxious, angry, depressed or full of passion, our voice reveals our emotional state. It really stayed with me, that comment about me coming across with an aggressive tone. And I've been thinking about it and analyzing it ever since. And that was a good 12 years ago now. And it's been a long journey to discover. I've been a singer and an entertainer for a long time, 20, 30 years I've been entertaining. And I always thought that I had a really good manner about me on stage. But I realized I was hiding perhaps behind a mask, and my true identity, my true character was perhaps not coming through. Now, hopefully it's coming through now, and I'm able to control my tonality for different environments and different situations. But the realization of that connection between the emotion and the sound and tone of our voice was a game changer for me. And I absolutely think that was the start of the journey in my role as a public speaking coach right now. So can we all recognize the power of our voices and use them to bridge gaps, spark understanding, and bring peace to the world around us? That's unless I'm telling the dog to get off the sofa, in which case, Henry, get off. My aggressive tone comes back. Now, the final tip, well done for sticking around. The final tip for changing the tone of your voice is that impersonators or impressionists manipulate the muscles in their larynx to change the quality of the sound. Here are a few pointers on manipulating the muscles in the larynx to change the tone of your voice. Number one is pitch control. The vocal cords can be stretched or relaxed to control the pitch of your voice. Increasing the tension in the vocal cords results in a higher pitch, while reducing the tension produces a lower pitch. Now, practicing this control allows the impersonators to mimic voices of both genders and different age groups. Number two is resonance adjustment. So resonance refers to the amplification and the modification of sound produced by the vocal folds or cords by altering the shape and the position of the pharynx, the mouth, and the nasal cavity. Impersonators can manipulate resonance. For example, creating a narrow pharynx or mouth shape can stimulate a nasally tone, while opening the mouth wider, which I spoke about before, can create a more resonant, more open sound. Number three is articulation and pronunciation. Voice impersonators pay close attention to the way their target articulate and pronounce words. This involves practicing control over the muscles involved in shaping the lips, tongue, and oral cavity. By emulating these articulators, impersonators can achieve a more accurate portrayal of the target's voice. Number four, the last pointer, if you like, last tip, is to use proper breath control. It's an absolutely crucial thing for the voice, and this will help you manipulate and learn to control breath support using diaphragmatic breathing. I have loads of videos on that. Have a look. This allows them to sustain long phrases and maintain control over the tone and intensity of their voice. By controlling and manipulating the tone of your voice, you'll be able to express emotion, communicate intent, influence others, convey confidence, improve clarity, enhance storytelling, and build rapport. If you're interested in taking this further and improving your voice, in fact, mastering your voice, get in contact with me. I have a Master Your Voice 101 online program. I also work with people one-to-one. Get in touch, schedule a call. It's free. Love to have a chat. Make a comment. Smash the like button. Smash the bell notifications, all that stuff. And I will speak to you very, very soon.